People often talk about safe sex or safer sex practices, and that incorporates both sides of a relationship, and it involves quite a number of different things. The first and most important thing is that we all want to be great lovers, and so it should be pleasurable for both people. And that brings us to the subject of consent. It means that when you're with someone and you're wanting to get it on, for want of a better expression, then you should be aware of how the other person looks, how they're feeling, whether they're comfortable, and whether they want to be where you are. We all know that people will have sexual experiences with others that they may not necessarily have thought about or planned, and it's really important in those times that you're highly aware of the fact that you should be treating someone with a great deal of respect. You need to think about safety. Nobody necessarily wants to get pregnant right then or get an STI. So safety is of high importance. What are you doing about safety? Any of those sexual adventures should be respectful for both people, consensual for both people, safe for both people, and pleasurable for both people.
So with the more and more of the online social media type, those types of engagement for people, there are more and more opportunities for people in that world, operating in that world, to be engaged inappropriately or engaged heading towards something inappropriate. So there's a lot of stuff now where we're seeing people are engaged through games, through the chat sort of functions in games, and people are being asked to provide nude photos or kind of explicit material, and that can also be really harming. So people can lose some of their their sense of self around that, because actually they're giving so much to somebody else, and what can happen in those environments at times is that those people then almost get blackmailed. It's, we've got these photos of you, you need to send us more or do some other stuff, or we're going to expose you. And so it can become really harmful. So that's one aspect of it. Of course, the other is people meeting online through social media and then deciding to meet for a date or whatever that is, and actually going out and just being vulnerable because they might be new to a city, or they might not have a lot of people that they know or know the culture of the place, I suppose, and just end up putting themselves at risk, just through those vulnerabilities. So there's some really easy things to do to try and negate some of that potential harm. And so some of that is to meet in public places, to not allow somebody to know where you live, to think about your online profile, what that looks like, whether it makes you look vulnerable or not, how much information of your personal information are you giving away, how much can be found about you online. So just trying to manage some of that stuff and keep it contained. Also maybe having a friend check in with you so they know who you're going out with, where you're going to, and if you're planning to be home at 9 o'clock, that you organise for them to ring you at 8. And if you're feeling uncomfortable about anything, you've got a code word. There's an elephant in the corner or something, that you can say, and prompts them to kind of go, oh, actually, there's something happening, there's an emergency, you need to come home. You've then got a good excuse to kind of get up and leave, basically, without having to feel awkward about that. So there's a whole lot of things, and just having people check in, texting somebody where you are if you change locations. Beautiful night, seems like a really nice person, offer to walk you home, don't let them. Things like that. So, it's just taking care around those kinds of things and trying to keep yourself safe and in less vulnerable positions, really.